Laid out on the runways of a World War II air base with adjacent roadways, Sebring International Raceway is the oldest permanent road racing circuit in the United States. It hosts its first race on New Year's Eve in 1950, a 6-hour handicap event won by Crosley Hotshot two-seat roadster. The first 12-hour Grand Prix of Endurance was held 2 years later, and for several years, Sebring was the site of America's only real international races. In 1959, Sebring was the site of the first United States Grand Prix before the event found a permanent home in Watkins Glen. For nearly 60 years, the world's top racers have competed for victory at this storied track, nestled in Central Florida's orange groves. The original racecourse was the longest in North America at more than 5 miles around. Today, Sebring International Raceway has 3 configurations, the longest of which is the 3.7-mile circuit used for the mid-March annual Mobile One 12 Hours of Sebring. Like the original layout, the current one is a mix of smooth asphalt-paved roadway and car-busting, tooth-rattling concrete slab runways. Experts claim that 12 hours racing at Sebring is twice as hard on car and driver than 24 hours at Daytona or Le Mans. With a wide variety of types of corners, from featureless wide open throttle, wide radius sweepers to a tight hairpin, Sebring offers a driver a variety of cornering challenges, and major bumps make a car dance. Sebring's shorter configuration is a popular year-round test facility for major race teams and a venue for SCCA club races. The full circuit is also host to major vintage races. You can see today the very same cars that were competing for top honors 50-plus years ago. Tonight, it's Round 8, the PFR Sports Car Series, and it's next on HBR TV. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Sebring International. I'm Steve Singer in the broadcast booth with Zach Millen. How you doing, Zach?
Hey, buddy. How we doing, man?
We're doing well. Round 8, the season's really clicking by in a hurry, but speaking of going fast, it's time for qualifying. Let's go down trackside and see who's going to be fast. Terry Crouch likely to be one of those drivers in the LMP2. Again, Terry going to have to go to the back this week with a, I don't want to call it a surprise victory last week, but it came down to that.
Yeah, that was an incredible finish last week. Hopefully we get another one of those.
With that, let's take a look here at some race details for tonight. Of course, a 60-minute sprint race. 76 degrees the temperature. Relatively dry here in Central Florida. 42% humidity, partly cloudy skies, kind of breezy, 13 miles per hour. Again, Terry Crouch going to go to the back to start this one off tonight. Terry's officially on his first timed lap, still able to qualify and set himself a spot, at least as far as pit lane is concerned. Also an opportunity to get that pole position, that extra point that would be awarded. And I'm looking down through the entry list here. I don't see Elliot Hellier in the lineup just yet. I might be missing him, but very surprising if he doesn't make the show here tonight. He was really looking forward to it, and from what I understood, he's expected to be very fast around here.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping to see how fast he was around here. I'm sure everybody in the field are probably not too upset he didn't show up just yet, but we'll see.
Terry Crouch finishes up his lap, a minute 47.406, lightning quick. Don't know if he made that kind of time in practice. Let's take a look. It's a 47.96, so he does go a tick faster here in qualifying. So watch Kevin Blue work through turns 7 and 8. Kevin currently 4th on the board in LMP. This might be an out lap or just a throwaway lap. You saw him swerving back and forth there, maybe trying to get some heat into those tires before he goes on another flyer. Again, 3 laps. That's what the allotment is to get their time in here for qualifying. 15 minutes, 3 laps, whatever comes first. Chris Generelli second quick, 1:48.15. Andrew Locke, 1:48.15. Very close time there, separated by only 2 1/1000ths of a second.
Happy to see Andrew back in the field this week. He was definitely listening to you last week.
Yeah, right. Now, speaking of Andrew Locke, you spent some time, a short time, racing with Andrew in the LMP2 machine, and then we had talked prior to going live here tonight. You spent some time driving that LMP2 recently. What exactly was your opinion of that race car? I know it's vastly different than what you're accustomed to, typically running the stock car breed of race cars.
Yeah, man, these things are just so different from anything I really drive on the regular. And yeah, when I actually raced with Andrew and that team, that was the scariest race I've probably ever had. I haven't had any experience in that car at all, and I think it was the 24-hour race at Road Atlanta. And my first stint, I went out, I think lap 2, missed turn 1 right through the grass, kept it safe off the wall, but man, they're tough. They are tough. I gotta get more practice and I don't know, maybe get a little more used to them.
Watching Dave Seats negotiate the corners here at Sebring, and very interesting to note, new colors on that Mercedes. TLDR on the 014 Mercedes. I don't know if he's poking fun or if he's joined the team. It says Lone Star Racing here in the bottom. I'm not sure if that's the case anymore, but either way, he's got TLDR SimSport colors on his Mercedes.
Interesting, Steve. Hopefully he gets a win here tonight. Maybe we can, ask him about it.
It's a bold strategy.
Bold strategy, Cotton.
Just reloaded the textures there just in case we missed something, but it seems that is the paint that is on board that Mercedes. And Dave Seats hasn't checked in here with a time just yet. And there he is, goes P2, 2 minutes, 0.355 seconds, just shy of Mike Hamlin's best time at 2 minutes, 0.294. Oh, over rotates it just a bit. Kevin Blue in the stream chat. I'm just here to watch Fahey wreck. Is he back? I didn't see him. I know we saw him run the LSR race last week.
Well, if he's not here wrecking physically, he's still here with us.
I know we say it every week, Zach, but man, I love the sound of this Porsche.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it never gets old, does it?
Nope. Kevin Blue says, Fahey's wrecking in spirit.
Beautiful. I think I said this too last week, but this paint scheme is just ridiculous. It's awesome.
Certainly hard to miss. Got a battle in qualifying here in the top 2 in LMP. Terry Crouch still has it. He's improved his time down to a 1:47.15. Flo Dom's also in that 1:47 category, but a 0.837 on the end. That's a big differential, big delta between Crouch and Doms. Don't usually see it that far apart.
Yeah, with Terry starting in the back, this might be really interesting.
Ryan Flanagan going to give it a go here. Terry Crouch awful excited. He's in the stream chat saying, let's go. I think he's looking at his lap time. That was a blistering lap, well faster than anything he ran in practice. It is the evening hours here at Sebring. Just about 8 p.m. in the east. So as this race continues on, it will get darker and darker. It may be difficult to see these cars after a little while, but we'll do our best. Oh, man, he was real wide. Flanagan almost wadding the race car up. It's crossed the line here. Where does he get? Minute 49.918. Flanagan sits 10th on the LMP grid. Kevin Blue in the stream chat says, Terry just put on the icy hot patch. He's ready to go. Terry, I think he's calling you out for being an older guy. Terry Crouch, old man problems confirmed. If you guys want to know what we're talking about, you got to jump in the stream chat here on YouTube. It's youtube.com/@HBRTV1. It's probably the only place you're able to watch this, but find the live chat, the stream chat for that matter, and you can partake in the action, have a conversation, say hi, tell us who you're cheering for, where you're watching from. I always cross those up for some reason, but we do appreciate it. We're open to the chat. We don't always see all the messages, but we try.
Yeah, and I mean, sometimes, guys, the chat is just as entertaining as the race.
Well, that's the nice thing is if the race is a snoozer, sometimes the chat tends to be awful entertaining, so it works out.
Yeah, and like what Big Blue here says, I mean, you can even talk to Terry as he's racing.
Exactly. So Nick Matthews out of turn 16. He's going to finish up his lap here. 2:03.628. Puts him 11th. Terry Crouch still P1 and LMP. We got Moon Iris saying, good luck, Dad. I think Dad is the only one that knows who Moon Iris is. Who are you cheering for? Who is Dad, I guess is the question. EJ Fuellner on the track. Forgot about him. How do you forget about him? He's going to be quick. Oh, we got the whole Crouch family in here. We got Moon Iris, which is Terry's, I don't know if it's son or daughter, but child. We got Chill Crouch, of course. I think that's Terry's wife. Kevin Blue says, everyone has my number. Nick Matthews stays on the track here. Going to try and get another flyer in, try to improve upon that lap time that puts him in the 11th spot for now. Now, the nice thing about Sebring is they just recently rescanned this layout. Now, in most cases, that happens after a repave. I don't think this place has been repaved, and it's still plenty bumpy. I think all it did was amplify the roughness of the race course. It's going to lose the lap there. You heard him running out of gas. Oh, and it was still quick. He ran it out of fuel coming out of 16, and he still improves. Doesn't jump up a position, but the lap time was a bit faster. Just about 30 seconds remain. We're going to jump out and get a really quick break out of the way. We'll be back after this.
but Lord, I can't stop feeling sorry for myself. I'm drowning on sorrow. Girl, want you and nobody else. I keep on looking every day and every night, but I just don't know where that baby of mine. Well, I just don't know. Have mercy, brother.
Back at Sebring International Raceway, let's take a look at our starting grid. First off, LMP2 on the pole with a lap time of 1:47.150. It's Terry Crouch, but he's going to the back, so that's going to yield the top spot to Flo Doms. Starting third, Chris Generelli. Fourth, Andrew Locke. Fifth goes to Alec Vorotnick. Sixth starter, Brandon Domain. Seventh, Chris Pio. Kevin Blue's going to roll from the 8th position. Starting ninth, EJ Fuellner. Lee Tucker will start 10th. 11th goes to Ryan Flanagan. James Koulibaly 12th. 13th, Andy Spicer. 14th, Sean Roberts. Pole position in GT, it's Mike Hamlin. Outside pole, Dave Seats. Starting third, Rob Campbell. Dan Clark will start 4th in GT. 5th goes to Josh Heggie. 6th, Brian Zinn. 7th, Russ Abraham. 8th position, Jonathan Cooper. 9th goes to Rob Henry. 10th, Nick Batista. 11th, Nick Matthews. 12th is Drew Brown. 13th, Joe Tucker. Last but not least, 14th on the grid, 28th overall, it's Dalton Powell. It's your starting grid to hear from Sebring International. Going green this next time by.
Well, Steve, we were a little late last week picking our drivers, but what do you think this week?
I'm gonna go with the flow.
I like it.
Gonna go Flo Doms and Dave Seats.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm gonna go. I don't know. I just got a feeling about Andrew Locke tonight. I think he's got what it takes to get up there. He's put the practice in, and I got a good feeling.
It's funny that you say that, because as soon as I said I was going to say go with the flow right off the bat, but then I hesitated and thought about taking Andrew, because he does have a lot of laps around this place. It's a track that he likes. It's a track that he's been to with the boys, hanging out, just having a good time. But It's kind of like Watkins Glen to some of these guys, and I think Andrew's one of them. I expect a decent performance out of the 23 here tonight.
Boy, GT3, I think I'm going to go with Mike Hamlin.
Mikey Hamlin. All right, we'll go with that.
I like it.
Again, Hamlin starting on pole, so Zach really going out on a limb there.
Well, you took Dave Seats right off the bat on me. I went full panic mode.
Field working on a turn 16 down the Ullman straight. One more sweeper, long sweeping turn 17, Sunset Bend. They make it back to start finish to take the green flag for 60 minutes here at Sebring. Field out of the final corner of the pace car, hard right down pit lane. Green flag in the air. LMP into turn number 1. Now the GT cars, they will come across start finish to start their race. Dalton Powell, Sean Roberts starting, it looks like, from pit lane. Dave Seats takes over the top spot right off the bat. Mike Hamlin is in the pits. Something happening to Mike Hamlin on the opening lap. We'll take a look at that in just a moment. Meanwhile, Chris Gennarelli leading this race over Andrew Locke, and Flo Doms has gone back into the third position right off the bat.
God, Steve, I'm telling you, I mean, broadcasters curse is one thing, but man, this is bad.
Hey, we got plenty of time left here. 1 minute into a 1 hour race, and Andrew Locke trying to get around the 19 already. Cold tires be damned. Andrew Locke wants to go. Yeah, Andrew's not wasting. He's on full push right now, even on the cold tires. Gets to the inside. Locke to the point.
I got to mention, Steve, I think Terry was in 6th place by turn 1.
Yeah, I'm not surprised either.
His start was just perfect.
So lap 1 just about wrapped up here. Andrew Locke up 3 spots already in just that 1 lap. Again, we talked about it in the open here. He's going to be fast. It's a place he knows very well. He's got a ton of laps around here in this car. Wow, Flo Doms goes way wide.
Are they lucky to keep those cars straight?
Chris Goins in the stream chat. Good luck, folks. Don't ride off into the sunset.
Seemed to be good there.
Let's ride on board with Andrew Locke, see how he gets around this place as he rolls into the hairpin turn 7. Man, you watch this from his perspective, and you really need to know the race course as he gets a little bit of an oversteer on corner exit at turn 13, but it's almost visually deceiving. There's some places it's like, well, where'd the racetrack go? You've got to know where your turn-in is. There's really difficult, too, because the place is so flat. There's not a whole lot of landmarks to go with, like that right there, knowing you got to go wide to get a better entry into that corner, into the backstretch.
Yeah, and watch how bumpy this last turn is. It's just insane.
On board again with Andrew Locke. Approaching turn 17. I just don't know how you do it.
Yeah, did you see the speed he carried into that turn? It's incredible.
I thought he was going to go off the track. I really did.
Me too. Yep.
Andrew Locke, another lap led. Chris Gennarelli still in the 2nd spot. Flo Doms is 3rd. Back into GT. We talked about Mike Hamlin starting from the pole position, but having an issue very quickly. Let's try to go back and get a look at that. Mike Hamlin involved, I think, in a first lap incident. I don't know if he had a problem. He certainly has some damage. This happens before they even get to take the start. What happened here? Yeah, they're already at speed, and he just loses the car. From pole position. Tough break. Not a good way to start this thing, and he hits that wall pretty hard.
Oh, man, left rear is just towed out big time.
Yeah,
and see, he wasn't the only one.
Yeah, breaking the toe link for sure. He does get it back to pit lane and uses that fast repair, but, man, it's cost him a ton of track position.
I mean, honestly, that was the hardest spot on the track for the GT3s to take that green, really. You know, it's the bumpiest spot.
And honestly, he's still in pit lane. I don't think he's going to come back out here. I don't know if he didn't have the fast repair checked or just says, you know what, never mind. We'll watch this one.
That's too bad, man.
We've all been there.
Yo, definitely. Yep.
Might have a battle shaping up here as Flo Doms jumps into the 2nd spot, takes it from Chris Gennarelli. He's only about 1.4 back from Andrew Locke 5 minutes in. Flo gets through turn 17 quite well. Shaves about a 10th off the gap. Taking a look at the weather, still 76 degrees outside. Track temps cooling off pretty good, 79 degrees Fahrenheit. A little less breezy, but still blowing pretty good, 8 to 9 miles per hour. It's now within 1 second. Flo is definitely catching Andrew Locke here. Something you really got to be careful with. I don't know if you noticed it, you can really tell in this camera angle the direction change, the left to right to left to right. If you don't do that just perfectly, you really upset the balance of the race car, and you do run the risk of getting that thing spun out.
Yeah, it doesn't take much with these cars. I mean, just a little bit too much of a rumble strip. You're going for a ride.
Oh, Flo's losing it! He saves it out of turn 17. Wow!
What an catch.
That was impressive. Flo Doms, I thought it was all going away. Now you hear drivers in NASCAR a lot of the time, especially in the Cup Series, this new next-gen Cup car, talking about aero push and aero tight, that type of situation. Well, the same does happen over here if you get too close to the car in front of you in these LMPs. Well, they're punching a big hole in the air. There's a lot of ground effect on these race cars, which is going to move a lot of air, which subsequently is going to take a lot of that air off the trailing race car. You lose a lot of front downforce. The thing is what can happen, and what may have happened to Flo here, is he may have been tucked in behind, a little understeer at that point, and then all of a sudden the lanes changed slightly enough that Flo might have gotten a big gust of air, so to speak, on the nose of his car. Now he's got a ton of grip to the nose, a lot of downforce. Well, now he's got the oversteer, so it's tight, loose. Now he's got to chase the race car and keep it out of the barriers, which he did a great job doing. I don't know how he saved it. So Gennarelli jumps back into P2, so Flo's going to have to make 2 passes here once again. He's already done this once with Gennarelli, but after the mistake, he's going to have to do it again and then try to reel back in Andrew Locke as he continues to lead.
Yeah, and that's something too, Steve, is after you have a moment like that, it's just so hard to try and forget about it and try to get back in your rhythm.
Well, guys like Terry Crouch, they really don't get excited because of all the beta blockers that they're on. They don't even worry about their heart rate going up.
Yeah.
Sorry, it was just too easy.
It was. It's perfect.
Speaking of Terry Crouch, where is he? He's in P4 already. Not wasting any time whatsoever. 7 seconds back from the leader, Andrew Locke.
I'm just waiting for that live chat to pop up with Terry's name under it.
Well, he's got Big Bend here and then a little straightaway down into the hairpin. Maybe he'll type us something. If not, we've got the Ullman Straight coming up here in a little while.
Look at the lap time into the top 4 in this LMP2 class. Incredibly close.
Last lap for Andrew Locke, a 49.73. Gennarelli was a 75, and Flo Dom's the quickest of the group with a 65. Almost a full tenth. In fact, about a full tenth faster than Andrew Locke. But he's still in traffic, still behind Chris Gennarelli. Comparatively, Terry Crouch ran a 49.75, so those top 4 drivers all within 1/10 of a second of each other the last time by. the 7 races leading into tonight, we've watched Flo Doms be quick just about everywhere we go, but at the same token, he doesn't make it look easy. He's running, this is an open setup league, likely running a very low downforce setup here with all the straightaways that you do have. You don't want to sacrifice too much in the drag category. I'm starting to wonder if Flo heated up his stuff a little bit too much here, because he's now about a second off, and he goes rear wide again into the grass. We got to stop talking about this guy.
Yeah, it's beyond jinxing at this time.
Every time we put the camera on him, he gets into trouble.
Yeah, and it's like you said, Steve, it's probably that package. I mean, you gain so much on the straightaways with that low downforce, but you really do make it pretty scary in these turns.
In the high-speed corners, he'll be fine, because the faster you go, the more downforce that machine is going to produce. But the slow-speed sections, you see it. He's swinging the rear of the car out. A lot of oversteer trying to get the power down. And again, you see the sun continuing to set here in Central Florida. Checking back in GT, Dave Seat still with the race lead over the Porsche of Brian Zinn. He's got 1.4 seconds an advantage. And it's ironic, at the beginning of the broadcast, it showed Lone Star Racing underneath the name of Dave Seats. I don't know if he heard me and he went in and updated it himself, but it says TLDR Simsport now.
That's pretty efficient.
As it gets darker here, you're going to see some hot brakes starting to show up. I'm already starting to see a little bit of rear brake heat on this Mercedes in some of the corners. Those rear brake rotors start to glow cherry red. That's how hot they're getting. Which honestly, I mean, that's hot. Yeah, there you go. You see them now. But the brakes on these race cars, they're designed to function best at those high temperatures. I forget exactly what the number was, but they were talking about the NASCAR Cup car on the road courses and how the brake packages that they use on the road courses, they're engineered to perform at their best right around 900 degrees Fahrenheit. That's pretty hot. Brian's in there in the second spot in GT. Daniel Clark in the BMW in third. So again, Zach, I know you have relatively limited experience in some of these road cars, especially in an open setup stance, but are they able to make any kind of wing adjustments on their pit stops in open set races?
Man, I don't know. The only time I've ever really got behind the wheel and one of these things was all fixed. I mean, I imagine there's some adjustability, like from the car itself.
Kind of have to wonder if there's any weight jacker that you can mess with like you can with the Indy car, or even front rear wing adjustments to try and add a little bit of downforce to the cars. I just wonder if Flo Doms is trying to take care of his stuff until he gets an opportunity to pit and he can make some adjustments. I think even with the track temperature coming down, maybe you add a half pound of air pressure to the tires, see if that helps at all. Generelli in some lap GT traffic, trying to work his way through. He's in behind the Mercedes.
Yeah, if your car is loose to begin with, it's only going to be way worse in traffic.
Well, now you look at the top three. Well, not top three. This is second, third, and fourth. They're all together. It's Chris Generelli, Flo Doms, Terry Crouch. Well, Andrew Locke gets out to about a 5.5 second advantage, 15 minutes in.
It's a good sign.
It's good to get into a rhythm while you're the race leader. He really does need that because he's got some pretty fast horses out behind him.
Yeah, and if I'm Andrew Locke, I want these guys to battle all the way to the finish.
Tough spot to catch a GT car again, really for both drivers. Gennarelli might have gotten the best of that. Flo Doms gets held up in the apex. Terry Crouch is going to get held up here. Not a good place for that because now he's got this big, wide open, long straightaway to contend with. You really want to have a great exit out of Le Mans, turn 16. Carry all that speed down the straightaway. You lose that if you can't set it up perfect with that GT car in the way, as it so often happens in class racing. Definitely cost the 59 a little bit of track position. I wonder if Andrew Locke's starting to encounter some of this traffic as well. He is closing in on the GT leader, Dave Seats, but for a moment he lost about half a second, but just like that, he picks it up to 5.8, almost 5.9, going around Dave Seats through the hairpin. And this is the battle that we've all longed to see all season long. Flo Doms in P3, Terry Crouch in 4th.
Ever since Monza.
It's really been the only time we've seen them battling was that first race of the season. Now remember, in that first chicane, or second chicane, I guess it depends on how you want to classify it, because they didn't run that first chicane, but those two came together late in the race. And that's really the last time we saw them have to battle each other in any frame of mind, but we'll see how this shapes up. Flo Doms might have gotten the back of Gennarelli there as he's trying to get around the Porsche. That's Brian Zinn, I believe. Terry Crouch gets on by. He's now the 3rd spot. Might take Gennarelli out of it as well. We'll see.
Yeah, I wonder if that gave him damage, Steve. That was a pretty good hit.
All that battling, just Andrew Locke continuing to stretch out his advantage. It's almost 8 seconds now over Chris Gennarelli. Battle for GT positions not as tight as they were just a few laps ago. Dave Seats now with a 2.2 second advantage over Brian Zinn. About the same from Zinn back to Clar, and then a couple more seconds to P4, a couple more seconds to P5. Flo has taken the spot back from Terry Crouch, but for how long? We watch this battle once again. Flo completes the pass, so a little bit of back and forth between the TLDR Sim Sport teammates. Minutes in here at Sebring, expecting pit stops to start to commence relatively soon. LMP2 category is 65% fuel load. I think GT was 45. We'll double check that here in just a moment. Indeed, that is the case. Third distance already, 20 minutes in, just about 39 and a half minutes to go. And Terry Crouch, speaking of pit stops, in the pit lane.
All right, looks strategy here, Steve. Let's see.
Comes down here first. Looks like James Coulibaly is going to do the same. He might be done or just coming to a stop. Just coming to a stop. Has to back it up. Slides through the box. That's going to cost him some time. Terry Crouch is down and away. A 20.07 second stop.
I don't know if he took tires, Steve.
I would say if he did, it was only one side. I think he's being smart about it, trying to bolt on what he can within the time it takes to put fuel in it. Terry's been known to try and get that free tire change, but maybe not all four. Race leader Andrew Locke still out in front here. He still needs to make a pit stop, as well as Chris Generelli, Flo Doms, and really the majority of the LMP2 class. Ryan Flanagan hits pit road. Locks him up. Does he go too far? He does as well. Has to back it up.
Takes his fast repair there.
His machine goes up on the jacks. It's going to be tires for Ryan Flanagan for sure. We'll have to keep an eyeball on how long this stop takes. (22, 23, 24), and he's down and away. 24.87 seconds. Now, it's hard to say exactly if it was 2 tires or 4. It's because all 4 tires come off the ground in that. Just want to make mention here, if anybody remembers the name Cody Harger. Cody was one of the admins and racers over in the Superior Class Auto Racing League back in the day. He's now done a little bit more real racing with his son and some drag racing, and he's selling up his stuff. He's got a track racer, a full rig. Looks like he's got a keyboard tray, the rally seat, button box mount, and some extras. Paid $1,200 for it a few years ago. Used it for about a year. He says he'll let it go for $700. Steering pedals and button box are already sold, so that stuff's gone. But if you guys are looking for a rig, pretty solid one. I believe I got the same one, so.
That's a pretty good deal.
It's a nice
I
little
want
setup.
the keyboard tray. I have to send him a message about that thing.
Well, either way, if anybody's is interested in it, find us in the HBR TV Discord. We'll be sure to pass you along and get you in touch with Cody Harger. So, more pit stops underway. Andrew Locke just leaving, 23.95 seconds in the pit. So, definitely a set of tires for Andrew Locke, if not all 4. Flo Doms about the same time in the pits, 24.25. Terry Crouch moves up to the second spot. Remember, his pit stop was 20.07, so he picked up some track position with the faster stop, albeit likely fuel only for the 59. But we'll see how that plays out the rest of this race. Maybe he takes his tires later on.
It's going to be interesting to watch the lap time between the top 2 and see if there's any real difference there between tires and maybe 2 tires or no tires.
Dave Seats just finishing up his pit work, 21.42 in the box. Everybody and their brother down pit road here just about the same time. Race admin's doing a good job here timing out the fuel for both of these guys, both classes, to be on pit road at the same time. Makes it nice and chaotic for everybody.
Absolutely.
Not saying it's a bad thing.
But this will bunch everybody back up together too, Stephen. With it being as dark as it is, sometimes you look up in that mirror, all you see is headlights. You don't know which way they're going to go. I mean, this is crazy.
Well, there's that, and if you're an LMP driver, okay, well, is he catching me or am I leaving him? Is that an LMP that's behind me or is that another Mercedes or who knows? It's sometimes hard to distinguish the lights from one car to another.
Yeah, and if you keep looking up in that mirror, you're going to miss your mark on the turn and go into the tulips.
Speaking of missing a mark, looks like Andy Spicer just missed his by just a bit there. Doesn't go off in the grass, but missed the entry to the corner. Closing in on David Seats. Little indecision there for Spicer, it appeared. Thought he had an opening to take the spot. Well, 26 minutes in, 26 and a half to be specific. Andrew Locke maintains his race lead over Terry Crouch, 6.6 seconds over Crouch and Flo Doms. That's your current top three. We're going to take our first HBR TV side-by-side break right now. Stay with us. You won't miss a minute of the action. We'll be right back.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Sebring International, Andrew Locke maintaining the top spot over Terry Crouch. Crouch 5.6 seconds in the rearview mirror. Lap times, we talked about taking a peek at that. Minute 48.9 was the last lap for Andrew Locke. It was a 48.74 for Terry Crouch, so he's running a little bit faster, but it's not a ton faster, as we've just passed halfway, 31 minutes in. Still another pit stop to go. Be curious the strategy that these top three drivers go with.
God, I love that about multi-class racing. You see the 23 just give up the entry completely to the slower class car to just pass them way easier on the straightaway.
But it really is a smart move. Yeah, you're going to give up. I mean, you're in a position where you've got really nowhere to go and still maintain the pace. Where do you sacrifice the least? And that really is probably the best way to do it. Back up the entry, like you say in NASCAR quite a bit, and then get the power down a little bit sooner than you anticipated. That way you can still maximize that straightaway speed, even though you had to pass that GT car. Smart driving by Andrew Locke. I tell you, there is a lot of GT traffic, too. These guys are not getting the chance to take a break. It's car after car.
I don't even want to say, because I hate to jinx anybody, but he's really catching traffic at pretty good spots, too. Like right here, he's going to get him on the straightaway before the turn and just doesn't really lose much. Looks like you might have some clear sailing here for a little while.
7.7 seconds the next driver for Andrew Locke to catch. It's Russell Abraham in the Porsche. It's a GT car, so it'll probably be about half a lap. Kevin Blue in trouble. This looks like beginning of the lap here, turns 3 and 4. Taking it nice and slow, trying to get back into traffic without causing any more problems.
That's a tough spot to rejoin the net.
Let's see what happened here with Kevin Blue just a moment ago. I think he just missed his entry, missed his braking point significantly, drives it into the tires. Not a significant hit.
Just got to make sure I jump over in a stream and type in Fahey's fault.
So, Zach, you were talking about how Andrew was just catching traffic at the perfect place every time, and it seems to be continuing. He's not bashful about flashing the lights at the GT traffic, making sure he knows they're coming.
That's the thing, man. I mean, you kind of have to. I mean, you're better off doing it, just letting them know. I mean, some people kind of take it offensive when they get flashed all the time, but I would do it. I would do it every damn time.
Especially as it gets darker. I mean, you made that point. Is all you can really see in the mirror is those headlights coming. At least if he's going to flash the brights at you, you've got an idea that he's faster. I mean, you can check your relative and see, oh, yeah, that's the class leader. I better get kind of out of the way here, or at least do my best to be consistent and be predictable.
Yeah, and you know, I've said it since the first day of my iRacing. Relative is life. Always have your relative up.
Kind of takes the simulation out of the equation, though, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Makes it more of a game.
Makes you better at the game, though. That's what matters.
No, I agree. I mean, the relative is important. It makes for better racing. Yes, it's supposed to be a simulation, and you don't always have something that data-driven to show you who is where. Some of these cars that are more advanced may have that ability, but I don't know. We come from the oval side of things. That's not usually data that we can see in the race car.
Yeah, and I mean, if it's all the same car, you really don't need it. You know, you can just look up in your mirror and everybody's got the same pace, roughly.
Andrew's still 6 seconds ahead. Terry might be getting through this traffic a little better than he thought because he's gained some ground. It was almost 8 seconds just a few minutes ago. Check back in on GT. Dave Seats still with the race lead in his Mercedes. Remember, Mike Hamlin put the car on pole, didn't make the green flag, crashed the car in turn 17, coming to take the green, and opted to sit the rest of this one out. He's been in the pits ever since, hasn't even taken a full lap. Tough break for Mike Hamlin because he was going to be fast. That would have been fun to watch him and Dave Seats battle it out. Unfortunately, we're not going to get that opportunity, at least this week.
Sorry, Mike.
Yeah, talk about broadcaster's curse.
I mean, it was like 8 seconds.
Never mind not winning the race. He doesn't take the green.
I'm telling you, I mean, you guys want me to take somebody for the race and have them have some bad luck. I mean, my PayPal is open.
Now, talking about next week, we're at Circuit of the Americas next week. That's going to be a fun one for sure. That's going to be our last broadcast of that week as we're taking it off here from Wednesday all the way to Monday afternoon. We're going to be down at Watkins Glen in person for the NASCAR Cup Series race out there. We're going to head down Wednesday afternoon, so no broadcasting Wednesday, Thursday. We should be back in time for IROC on Monday, so tune in for that, of course. If there's inclement weather, that may hamper things. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, absolutely can't wait for that weekend. I'm going to be there probably, it's looking like Saturday morning, Steve. I've been trying to get Friday off, and it's just no luck so far, but we'll keep trying.
Seniority helps.
Yeah, in my 10 years, it's not much compared to some of them.
Right. I keep watching this gap between the LMP leader Andrew Locke and Terry Crouch. It is shrinking and doing that in a hurry. It was 6 seconds just a couple of minutes ago. Now it's 4.9. Last lap for Andrew Locke, a minute 51.08. So maybe some issues trying to get through some GT traffic as he closes in on Dave Seats here. He has to go wide through turn number 1. Now the advantage down less than 4 seconds for Andrew. Just got to get through this traffic, and that's a lot of it too. We've talked about this in class racing so often that's just part of the discipline. You've got to find a way to get through this traffic without sacrificing too much lap time, because if the guy that's trying to run you down catches that traffic in an opportune spot, that's the advantage. That's where he's going to gain that lap time. Even if you are quicker, he's going to catch you.
And you just see it right there. I mean, Andrew was flashing the whole way down that straightaway, and I missed who it was there, but they did all they could to get out of the way, and it was just, I don't know, it was just a tough spot.
I think it was Joe Tucker, actually, and ironically, Joe's one of those drivers that does not like when you flash the lights at him.
He was flashing it the whole way down that straightaway. I love it.
Kevin Blue in the pits, tires going on. This should be his last stop of the race. 38 minutes in, it gives us 21 and some change. Seconds, 24.3 seconds for Kevin Blue.
I was just checking over the different streams here, Steve, and I did not realize how close Flo and Terry are. I think Flo's going for the pass right now.
Oh, Flo runs real wide. Side by side here on the main straightaway. Flo's going to take the second spot from Terry Crouch. He is. Down into turn number 1. Does Terry fight back? I don't know. Did Terry get a piece of the inside wall?
Boy, it was hard to tell, but it did look like it.
I heard the sound. I thought I saw sparks. Oh, he's not happy with Flo. Terry flashing the lights.
Now, if Terry flashes the lights, that's different. That's what you do.
Thought we were going to have a repeat of Monza. I would have died if he just ran into him there.
Oh man, you said Monza, and it was in my head. This battle isn't done. I'm telling you.
I'll tell you though, Andrew Locke's certainly happy to see that exchange because it padded his lead again, now over 5 seconds. It was just below 4 a moment ago. Again, one more pit stop still to take place for these drivers. That's going to kind of be the determining factor. Both Andrew Locke and Flo Doms appeared to have taken tires on their last pit stop. Terry Crouch looked to be fuel only. If anything, it might have been maybe 2 of the tires. We'll see. But with that strategy, do they switch it up? Does Andrew Locke and Flo Doms, when they make their stop, do they do what Terry did? Do they go fuel only for the remainder of this race?
You know, it gives them the option. I think depending on what the race looks like for them in that minute, it gives them the option. I think it was a good move. Every second is going to matter here towards the end of this race. It's going to be fun to watch.
More details on the Cody Harger front, selling his gear. He's also got his PCs ready to get rid of. It's got an i7 97K, liquid cooled, MSI, Gaming Edge AC motherboard, 2080 Ti, all kinds of goodies. Sounds like a pretty good build.
Yeah, if you're looking for a turnkey, ready to go setup, I mean, give us a contact. We'll get you in touch.
He's asking $1,750. It sounds pretty reasonable. It's not that old. Again, those of you hearing that, if anybody is interested and you need to get in touch with Cody Harger for it, looks like he's got some interest already, but touch base with us. He's in the HBR TV Discord, so just find Cody Harger. You should be able to locate him. He's talking in the general text. So Terry Crouch has slipped all the way to P6.
Well, I think he pit. I think he came in.
And that answers that question. His stop was only 15 seconds, so if he took tires on that first stop, he definitely did not take them this time.
Pretty excited about this, Steve. I don't think we have seen Terry kind of driving, with a purpose here. If he didn't want to get past right there, if he thought the pass was a little tough, I'd hate to think how fast Terry's going to be driving with a purpose here. I'm excited.
Well, Terry's fastest lap of the day is 1:48.34, and Andrew Locke is in the pits. This is going to be the one to watch. Does he get in clean? Does he not make any mistakes?
It's the money stop, Steve. Let's see.
Flo Doms takes over the top spot in the meantime, but let's see what Andrew does. Terry did not take tires on his stop. Let's see if Andrew has the similar strategy here as he's trying to worry about that GT car as well. That screws up your entry a little bit, but he did a good job getting into the box clean. Keeps it on the ground, fuel only for Andrew Locke. Dumps it and goes 12.03 seconds. It was a faster stop over Terry Crouch. Now he just needs to get the pace back. Three and a half minutes in, not much time remains. Flo Dom's your race leader. Chris Generelli is second. Chris Pyle third. Ryan Flanagan fourth. And just finishing the pit stop in fifth, Andrew Locke. Comes out ahead of Terry Crouch by about 6-7 seconds. But everybody in front of him still needs to make a pit stop. So Andrew just needs to make sure he can get through this GT traffic, which is far and away right now. Good opportunity for him to get back into a rhythm while the rest of the field out in front of him makes their final pit stops.
Yeah, I think it was a good stop by Andrew here, Steve. Looks like the deficit's like 4 seconds or so. If he did take those tires, he would be behind Terry right now.
But that's the question. Did he get enough fuel in it?
Time will tell.
I know just like Terry, Andrew runs a lot of software in the background as far as helping you out with things like that. He may even have a live crew chief in his ear. We don't know if James Vance is available or not. A lot of times James will be up in his ear helping him with strategy and things like that, which is a massive help for a guy that does it in the real world.
Yeah, it doesn't get much better than that.
Andrew Locke, though, I think if he's just rolling through here and if he stays mistake-free, he's got a real good chance at this.
I miss seeing Vance out here racing. I know how busy he is in real life racing, especially this time of season, but yeah, he's always fun to watch drive out here.
Yeah, James used to be an LMP3 driver. He still could be, without a doubt, if that was the route he was on. He's spent some time in some TCR cars. He's been doing some spotting for some LMP3 teams. He is definitely busy across the board, always at the racetrack. The dude's living the life, man. I don't care what you're doing. If you're able to make a living in racing in any way, shape, or form, I tell you, that's a bonus.
That is the absolute dream, isn't it?
I just want free tickets.
Yeah, right?
You don't need to pay me. Just let me in.
I'll even take pictures. I don't care.
I'll live in my car. It's cool. So Flo Dom stays out on the racetrack. I think he might be pushing this as late as he can possibly go and make that pit stop as short as possible. I can see Flo possibly getting this final stop done in enough time that he may get back out front. Let's see here. Pit stop time for Andrew Locke. Pit lane time was 43:67. That's going to be awful tight. Andrew's 33 seconds back, so that would put him 10 seconds ahead of Flo if he stops and has a similar pit stop and pit lane time as Andrew did. Looks like Flo just scraped a barrier on entry as well.
I was getting every inch into that entry.
So Flo Dom's continuing as the race leader, but for how long? He's going to have to make one more stop before this one's all said and done. Andrew Locke coming down at lap 23. We're on about lap 25 right now. Flo's last stop, lap 13. Same was the case for Chris Generelli, Chris Pio. Terry Crouch has made his final stop. E.J. Fuellner in 6th, still needing to make a stop. Ryan Flanagan has completed his pit work.
Man, this is really working out perfect for Flo. I mean, he's had what seems like clear track ahead of him here for a while. I mean, if you got clear track, you might as well stay out and just keep hitting your marks. And I mean, oh, I say that, and there's somebody in front of him. But
well, he's got another LMP out in front, and it's Kevin Blue. Kevin's going to be able to run some pretty decent pace from now until the time that Flo catches him. By then, I think Flo may really be forced to make that final pit stop. But he's just trying to turn some qualifying laps right now, trying to get as much of a gap as possible before he makes that last stop. Again, the deficit back to Andrew, 34 seconds now.
Oh, it's going to really come down to who gets out in front of the other. It's going to put such pressure on whoever's second. It'll be fun.
Flo makes another pass, stays out on the racetrack here now with 11 and a half minutes to go. Flo Dom's last lap of the race, fastest lap of the day, minute 48.23 seconds.
Our baby's getting light.
That's touching on the qualifying pole speed from Terry Crouch. I think Terry ran a 194.
You know, it'd be cool to see him take this win, Steve. You know, after last week, he was killing it last week and just made that small mistake. And I mean, that's really all it takes in this style of racing.
Really is all it makes the difference. One mistake. Again, these cars are traditionally, they're endurance cars. Even the short races are only 240 minutes. We're running 60 minutes here. That's it. So it's go time from the word go. I mean, you're out there hustling immediately, and that's why a lot of times you see some of these guys really push the envelope right at the drop of the green flag. We saw that with Andrew Locke going from up 3 spots in that first lap.
Yeah, I mean, Andrew 3 spots. I mean, Terry, God, what, like 7 spots
Right.
by turn 1? It was incredible.
Dave Seats in the pits for his final stop of the day, coming with just about 10 minutes left. Down and away, 11.4 seconds. And here he comes, Flo Doms from the race lead in pit lane with 10 minutes to go. See if Generelli, Pio follow him down, and Andrew retakes the top spot. Generelli's in the pits for sure. Pio stays out for another trip around, it looks like. So here's going to be the question. How long does this pit stop take for Doms? 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11:75. Not a huge difference. I think it was a 12:03 for Andrew Locke. Where is Andrew?
I see some lights coming.
Here comes Andrew Locke. Flo Doms beats him out.
Wow.
Impressive.
Here we go.
That clear traffic Flo had out in front prior to his pit stop is going to come down, I think, to be the difference maker here. He was able to run qualifying laps for a solid 6-8 minutes before he made that pit stop, and it seems to be the difference. 1 second back to Andrew Locke now. Dave Seats finishes up his pit stop. He comes back out still 5 seconds ahead of second place Brian Zinn in GT. Then Daniel Clark in the third spot. He's 13, almost 14 seconds back. A little bit of a wiggle from Flo. We'll see if he can keep it together here. The beginning of the race, not the cleanest for Flo Doms. He was off track a handful of times. Let's see if he can keep it between the white paint.
And for Andrew Locke, you know, he's had to pace all night, and now he gets to chase that rabbit, you know. It's going to be fun for him. Look at those bumps.
He is pushing hard.
Boy.
Andrew Locke pushing that car as hard as it'll let him. Driving that car in yaw through turn 17, Sunset Bend.
I love watching the entry into one here, man. They get every inch. See the sparks fly every time.
Seven minutes to go here from Sebring. Flo Doms able to execute his pit stop, the final one of the day, without losing the lead. Andrew Locke 1.4.5 back. Joe Tucker just having an incident on the track. See what happened here with the BMW of Joe Tucker. Just leaving pit lane. It looks like it may have been. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Lee Tucker also. No, that's Joe Tucker. Lee Tucker in the pits. Again, still a healthy lead for Dave Seats in GT3. Looking to bring that Mercedes home with a win. He can keep it together for another 5, almost 6 minutes. He'll have a win in his pocket.
Yeah, it's been a real clean race for Dave so far.
Back out front, Flo Doms extending his lead over Andrew Locke. Now it's 3 seconds. I don't know if Andrew went off course just a bit and lost some track position, but he lost a couple of seconds awfully quick. Oh, he's slowing down. Is he having trouble? He's got big time trouble. Oh, and he turns in.
That's mechanical or something, Steve. Something's
Yeah,
broken
he might either, I don't know if he's in VR anymore, but yeah, Andrew Locke, that's tough, man. He is out of this one. Let's watch this again from maybe a different perspective. At speed. Oh, and it just locks the brakes straight up. Yeah, I don't know if he lost visual or something with the hardware, but yeah, he's out of this one early. Well,
And we might be
4 minutes to go. I wouldn't say it's early, but nonetheless.
we might be seeing some more posts in the HBR for sale thread here pretty soon.
Yeah, right. I don't think so.
Maybe just a VR setup.
Andrew's always buying stuff. A tough break. Contender for the win here in the second spot. Andrew Locke out of it here with just 4 minutes remaining. Flo Doms now can take her somewhat easy, knowing he's got 9.5 seconds back to Terry Crouch with only 4 minutes to go. Battle for the fourth spot. Starting to shape up slightly. Chris Pio in fourth. Flanagan not too far back. Pio's tires a little bit fresher. Meanwhile, Terry Crouch goes a 48.12, bests his pole speed. Man, I don't think there's enough time left, but can we just add another half an hour to this race and see if Terry Crouch can reel him in?
I know. We'll see though, Steve. I mean, you never know when that white flag is gonna come out. You know, there might be an extra lap, and some of these guys might have enough gas for that, and it's not over until it's over.
Well, I guess that's going to be my question with Flo. He took a short stop very similar to Andrew Locke. Andrew was like a 12.02, I think it was. Flo's was 11.75. It might be right on the brink of the edge of running out.
And I mean, how much can you really save per lap with these things, Steve? I mean, besides just letting off early and maybe going half throttle.
I mean, I don't know. Me personally, I can't save a lot of fuel in these cars, but the guys that are good, you know, your Flo Doms, your Terry Crouch, your Andrew Locks, those types of guys, they know what to do to try and go to fuel conservation mode. Obviously, lift and coast, that's a big way to do it. Just get off the throttle significantly earlier than you normally would, but then conversely, so you don't lose lap time, you have to get on the brakes a lot later than you had planned, but you're not carrying as much speed because you've been coasting. That way you're not using anywhere near as much fuel. You can be much more, I don't want to use the word deliberate on your throttle inputs because you kind of want to really ease into them. Obviously, it's a lever, it's not a switch, but the more gentle you are putting the power back down, the slower you are back to the gas. That's that much less fuel that you're burning in that race car. So there's absolutely ways to do it. You can back up your corner entries as well as the lift and coast, which then you're going to be on the throttle a little bit longer. So you almost want to charge the corner and reduce the amount of throttle time that you have down the straightaway. Yes, that's going to affect your lap time, but if you're running short on gas, you've got options. You've got tools in the box that you can play with. I think that was Terry Crouch just saying, yeah, you might win the race, Flo, but I'm getting fastest lap.
It could be. I see he's dropped back to just over 10 seconds for the gap, but I mean, he might be saving too. As Flo comes across the line with a 1:47.8.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I love road course racing, man. I think, Steve, that answers the question on how Flo was looking for fuel.
Yeah, I think he knows that he's in good shape at this point. We are on the final lap here. We've just gotten to that point. Terry's going to have to throw down a pretty good flyer here.
Well, if anybody can do it.
Again, as you can see up in the top left corner of the screen, we are over the first hour, the only hour. The hour is the race distance, but we've got the final lap to run here. Flo Doms started first, qualified P2. Remember, Terry Crouch had to go to the back. Win penalty from last week, but that's going to send Flo to the back at Circuit of the Americas next week. Flo Doms out of Le Mans down the Ullman Straight for the final time. Into turn 17. And checkered flag waves for Flo Doms. He wins round number 8 here at Sebring. Terry Crouch just comes up a little bit short. Fireworks in the air. Dave Seats one more corner to work around as well, and he'll find himself with another win in hand through turn 17 for the final time. The Mercedes, now a TLDR SimSport driver, makes it yet again a TLDR sweep across the two classes. Dave Seats takes the win.
Man, I feel like you've said that a lot this year, Steve.
That's every race. I think almost every race. I'd have to go back and look at the books, but TLDR has been hard to guard, and when you add a guy like Dave Seats, it just gets even more difficult. Well, that's it, folks. Race over. We're going to jump out and get a break out of the way and have our race winners up in the broadcast booth after this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
back at Sebring International, round 8 of the PFR Sports Car Championship. In the books, Flo Doms takes the win. We were really anticipating a battle between him and Andrew Locke. It just didn't come to fruition. Andrew possibly having hardware issues on his end. All of a sudden came to an abrupt halt and then started to try and go and collected another car and then decided he was going to park it. Done for the night. A strong run for Andrew Locke, just not meant to be tonight. But let's pull Flo Doms up into the broadcast booth and get a word with our LMP2 winner. Flo, it's Steve and Zach up in the broadcast booth. You got a good copy?
I do.
Well, Flo, congratulations, man. Another win on the season. Qualified that machine second, but was able to move up into that first starting position when Terry had to go to the back. Andrew Locke aggressive on the start, jumping right out to the race lead, but it wasn't long, and some strategy later. You're back out front and here with a checkered flag, man. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, I screwed up qualifying a little bit. I wish I was a bit closer to Terry there, but no big deal because he had to start from the back. And yeah, that dive on lap 1, I have to look at it again. I didn't save the replay, but it felt like I had to react to avoid him. I was doing my line, and then he just went right into my way.
Well, either way, you got him back with the strategy, able to finish that last pit stop without losing the position. You come out ahead of him by about a second or so. And then I think the demons kind of bit Andrew. I don't know if he had some mechanical issues with his system, but ended up having to come to a complete stop and then out of the race entirely. Ends up finishing here down the order. But still a strong run. You win this thing. Next week we go to Circuit of the Americas, and you've got to start out in the back. That's a tough place to do it. How do you feel about your chances next week?
Yeah, I think I have to put in a bit more practice than this week. That's for sure. It's a very technical track. Not easy to be fast there. Not easy to get a lap together even. And I changed my graphics settings in the middle of the week this week, and hadn't done much testing. And I was today driving with like 35 to 45 FPS occasionally. It didn't make it easier for me. It was very tough. I was just like on stream. I was just screaming into the mic. I was very unhappy about that. But yeah, somehow, once everybody pitted and I was staying out longer, my FPS came back to me a little bit, and I could put down a few faster lap times, and that made me come out in front of Andrew. And yeah, no idea what happened to him there.
Yeah, you definitely put down some fast laps. You got lucky with the traffic. Nobody out in front of you were able to run, and we talked about it in the stream. Qualifying pace-type laps before that final stop. It was just enough to get you out in front. And then it came down to the very end. Who's going to have that fast lap between yourself and Terry Crouch? Well, you took home the fast lap. The only driver to crack 1:47 in the race, a 47:88 to Terry's 48:12. Job well done.
Cheers. Yeah. Funny enough, I was talking to Chet on that lap that I didn't want to push too much. I just want to finish it, like the race. And then suddenly I saw that purple number there on the top left corner and missed turn 1 immediately on the last lap.
A little bit late on the brakes in one of the corners. You picked up some extra speed. You never know.
And that's right.
Well, Flo, again, congratulations, man. Who do you want to shout out to before we let you go?
My better half, Rosie. Thanks for letting me race, and it was our anniversary on Monday, so yeah, greetings to her.
All right, Flo, again, congratulations. Thanks for talking to us, and good luck next week.
Thank you.
It's Flo Doms, your race winner here at Sebring and at LMP. Next, we're going to pull Dave Seats up into the broadcast booth and get a word with our GT winner. Dave, it's Steve and Zach in the HBR TV booth. You with us?
Yes, sir.
Dave, congratulations, man. Another solid run and some new colors on the race car this week. Have you switched teams? Are you a TLDR guy now?
Yes, sir, I am.
Look at you. And you're helping out. First one in the car, first time in the car, at least with these colors on it, and you take home a checkered flag, man. Awesome job. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, it was an interesting start. I had to talk to my buddy Mike Hamlin, see what happened there. It just looked like he lost it. And then from there, just tried to maintain the car because that first stint was slippery out there. And then once we got her going, just tried to hold a nice steady gap without overdriving the car and not getting caught up in traffic.
Well, I think slippery was really the go-to word there because Hamlin being on the pole, You guys got the power down before you really got through that final turn 17, coming to the green flag. Of course, the staggered start with LMP, and he just lost it. No contact. It came around on him. He got into the wall, and I think he went straight to pit lane and never rejoined the race. So a tough way to start it off. Looked good at a moment, and then all of a sudden it didn't.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. He had a hell of a lap there on quali, but no, glad that first race out I could represent for the TLDR guys, and tried to just have a good race.
Well, race 1 with the new team. Now next week is race 2 with the new team. That's at COTA, Circuit of the Americas. Certainly a very different racetrack. Likely going to see that one in the heat of the day in the hot sun. How do you feel about your chances next week?
We'll see. That's a technical track, so hopefully you can make up some ground on some of the other drivers, as long as it goes better than last week and not get killed on lap 2 and do a whole stint down on power. So we'll see how it goes.
It's good for the tires, though.
Yeah, good for the tires, bad for the top end speed.
Dave, nice job here taking the win once again at Sebring. We wish you the best of luck next week, man. Who do you want to shout out to?
You guys in the booth, also Kevin Blue for putting this on, giving us somewhere to race each week. And then I gotta shout out the new team, the guys at TLDR. Thank them for having me on and letting me race with them. And then also my sponsors, MMG, Mishmash Gaming, and Full Sun Graphics.
All right, Dave. Well, thanks for talking to us, man. We'll see you next week.
Yes, sir. Have a good evening.
Too. Dave Seats, your race winner in GT. That's going to wrap it up. Our top 2 interviews. Take a look here at our race results. LMP2 first, then we'll go into GT. Of course, Flo Dom's your race winner. Terry Crouch was second. Chris Generelli finishes in the 3rd position. 4th finisher was Chris Pio. 5th went to Ryan Flanagan. EJ Fuellner was P6. 7th went to James Koulibaly. 8th, Kevin Blue. Alex Vorotnik was 9th. Andy Spicer, 10th. Brandon Domain was 11th. Andrew Locke, after a strong run, finishes 12th, 3 laps down in class. Lee Tucker, 13th, 5 laps down. And Sean Roberts, didn't really see much of Sean tonight, finishes last in class, P14, 29 laps down. Certainly not how he wanted the night to go. Might still be battling some health issues as far as the sciatic nerve issues he's had, but hopefully that's not the case. But we wish him the best of luck at COTA next week. GT results, Dave Seats, of course, your race winner. Brian Zinn finishes in the 2nd position. Daniel Klar was 3rd. 4th place went to Rob Campbell. 5th place finisher was Russell Abraham. Rob Henry was 6th. 7th, Jonathan Cooper. 8th went to Nick Matthews. Josh Heggie, 9th. Joe Tucker was 10th. Nick Batista was 11th. Drew Prowl, 12th. Dalton Powell finishes 13th. And 14th, the pole sitter, Mike Hamlin, 30 laps down. Every lap down for Mike Hamlin. Man, that's just a really tough way to get a race going. Doesn't even see the green flag, and he's out of it. Starting from P1, finishes dead last. I don't know how mad I'd even be. I can't even really think about it. I don't want to, because it stresses me out.
Especially from the pole, man. You just hate to see that. It's awful.
You got so much excitement. You're like, all right, man, I'm on the pole. Elliot's not here. I got a chance to win this.
Yeah.
But speaking of Elliot Hellier, he did finally comment here in the chat. He says, the one time I thought I'd try and nap before the race, my alarms don't go off. I'm gutted.
Oh, man, it's a track, too. That sucks.
He was so looking forward to this. It's a tough break, but he's not out here running for points. He's running for trophies, and I think next week at COTA he'll have an opportunity. Now, again, Elliot, it's in the UK. I don't know if COTA is a track he's got a ton of laps on, being a US-based track. I know it's an international circuit. It's an FIA Grade 1 track, but you never know. If it was Silverstone, I'd be like, yeah, he's a lock. He's going to win this thing. But it's COTA. It's a different animal. He's going to be fast no matter what, but I'm really curious to see how well he does next week. It's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, looking forward to it for sure.
So with that, I got to thank you guys for chiming in. Zach, thanks for joining us here in the broadcast booth as always. If you guys haven't already done so, check out the website, hbrtv1.com. We've got the ability to find the live stream there as long as I remember to put the link up. There's some photos in there of each race, so we try to get those posted regularly. And there's a new channel as well for you iRacing painters out there. We're trying to get some hard-to-find logos, and maybe not so hard-to-find logos, posted up in that channel as well. Some that I've found, some that I've made. And if you have a logo of your own, that you want posted up there that might be difficult to locate, or if it's just your own custom logo and you want it posted for guys to use, we can certainly do that. Just send it to us in the Discord. Let us know why you're sending it. So I'm like, hey, what's this for? And we'll get it posted over to hbrtv1.com. Also, if you haven't already done it, give us a like, a follow, a share, a subscribe over at HBR YouTube page, and that's youtube.com/@HBRTV and the number 1. Those likes on each stream make a huge difference. It really helps open up this stream and to get it in front of some new eyeballs each week. That helps the broadcast platform, and it helps the league as well, especially if there's a bunch of iRacers out there that haven't heard about PFR Sports Car Championship. Maybe they want to get involved, even though we're getting towards the end of the season, but this isn't the last season. There's going to be more to come. So that's going to do it for us. Congratulations to Flo Doms and Dave Seats winning both their classes here at Sebring. We'll see you guys next week at COTA. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.